I had a fun little Sunday morning coding adventure, and I thought I would share a little bit about what I did. Um, on the screen here, this is a QR code if you want this gist that has kind of the overview of what's going on, including the links to the code I created and everything. You can just open your phone and scan that. I'm not esteemed enough in the world of YouTube to be able to add good links and things like that yet, but that'll take you to a GitHub gist that has this markdown file that I have here. So the impetus for this little thing I created before I show it to you was I'm a teacher, and I write software. I've been a software developer for an incredibly long time now, and I've always gone back and forth between teaching and writing code, and now it's about 50-50. My income is part teaching and part writing code, and I really enjoy teaching. And there's been this thing that's always been gnawing at the back of my head, and a student the other day, I just finished a 4-day class with a bunch of really brilliant students. And one of them, this is why I think they're brilliant. They wrote me and told me how much they love my class and appreciated the way I teach, because I think software development is an incremental thing. Right, you write a little bit of code. Maybe you ship that feature, and then you need to expand on it over time. You need to expand on it because new requirements come in, new features are added, or you just get smarter and you want to make changes. And I really try to teach that way, as opposed to some tutorials and videos I've seen where everything is way thought out ahead of time. The instructor always knows exactly what's coming next and kind of writes the perfect application, like just everything's great. Um, what the student said is, they love the class. They love how I teach that way. It was really helpful for them. But, we could do a video, and I do a lot of little videos for my classes that kind of show that process. But it's kind of unwieldy to do that during class, and, privacy things. I'm not always allowed to do that kind of thing. But they want to actually kind of relive that experience in some way. And they admitted, I'm pretty good as an instructor. I try to do lots of little commits along the way, and they can use the timeline view in Visual Studio Code, or just sift through the Git history and kind of see what happened there. But it's pretty awkward to do that. And, they really just wanted something that could help them remember that thought process. How did I get from A to Z, or A to, K, or something like that? And the current state of the main branch in my repo kind of just shows where we are right now. And I felt called out a little bit and a little seen. I've always, been thinking about what would be the best way to do that, and had a little background thread working on this. And I've been looking at, for another project I'm working on, a really impressive library for TypeScript called Effect, and I have links to that in here where you can read up on it. My big problem with it so far is the doc. It's a lot of There's a lot of documentation. The documentation is fantastic, but it doesn't show me that thing that I try to do in class. How do you think through actually creating something and going through it and building it? It's I always think documentation is a lot like if you, it was the old days before Google Maps or Apple Maps or something, and you bought an atlas, but the atlas was just like an alphabetical list of all the cities. It doesn't really show you how to get from point A to point B. But I really needed to look into this stuff, and I searched YouTube, and I found a video from a developer. This one here, if I open
In the
this
middle
up,
two parts, there's
was that from the Effect Days conference. This developer, Ethan Nizer, did a workshop and recorded the whole thing. It's like 4 hours long. And, first off, I will say, for a rare YouTube video of this kind of content where I didn't feel I needed to speed up the playback speed, Ethan's a great presenter. It was really useful. And I kind of just watched through this, played along a little bit as we went. And the reason I was able to play along is because he also put the code up there. and he put the code up on GitHub. So here's his GitHub repository for that effect workshop. And I pulled this down and was looking through it. And what I noticed is in his source directory here, like if I look at part two, this is the code for the project and all that stuff. He has some exercises, but the thing that really got me was this folder called breakpoints. And this breakpoints is okay, here's where we started. Here's the original app. This is what this looked like when we started out. And the next one was okay, let's do a little bit more, introduce some changes. So this is that same index file, but just at that point, and has folders for each one of those with a little markdown file at the end that says, okay, when we went to 4 to 5, here's what we did, and here's why we did it, and all that kind of stuff. And, frankly, as if I wasn't already feeling a little bit of what people refer to as imposter syndrome. Here's this, young developer, absolutely brilliant in a conference, and he had thought this through. Fantastic teacher, stepped you through it step by step. Really, complex stuff, not easy to present, but also he kind of came up with a good structure for how to make it so that students can do what my other student was asking about, which is kind of see a history of the changes and maybe a bit of the rationale on how to do that. So that's, setting the stage for what I did here. And yeah, so thanks to this student. I'll leave them unnamed, but the student that made the request, and special thanks to Ethan. You know, fantastic. I mean, even if all you did was this, it's been enormously helpful. But I kind of took your idea here, and yesterday when I watched it, I actually hacked together some Bash scripts to be able to do what I'm going to show you now, and I don't know. That's always fun. I like that, but I thought it would be nice to have a little Visual Studio Code extension that I could use while I'm running the class, and in kind of an impromptu way, say, okay, we're gonna do another big thing now, so let's create another breakpoint file for this, and then draw some little benchmarks along the way, saying, okay, we made this move, here's what we changed, and we made this move, this is what we changed, and at least a rudimentary summary at the end of what is all changed, and that could be part of my repo. So here is the repository for the extension that I just wrote this morning. I'm not going to publish this. I don't have plans to publish this right now to the Visual Studio Code Marketplace. I think, a couple reasons. First off, it's pretty specific use case when you would want to use this. I wouldn't use this thing in a real project. It's meant for classroom use. And it does assume a little bit of, the way I use Git when I'm inside class and all that kind of thing. In other words, I don't want to take the time right now to verify this would work in anybody's situation. However, it will work, with any kind of project. I plan on using this when I'm teaching some JavaScript, some TypeScript, some .NET stuff, some Angular stuff, some Vue stuff. And I've already kind of done a couple trial runs this week. I'm going to try to use it in an actual class and see how it goes. But you can go up to this repo and pull this code down. There's some instructions on how to actually use it, what the steps are, but I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of that right now. There's a couple features that I would like to add to this over time. It's that thing, once you create it, you always want some more, but I think it's in pretty usable shape right now. So this link is also in that README that I gave you the QR code for. So if you go to here, there's a gist you can look at that has all these links in it, including this repo. So what I have is, just as a demonstration here, I have, because this is what I just taught, it's fresh in mind. Again, this could be any kind of application, but it's kind of a brand new Angular application. So yeah, it's running. There's nothing on the screen here at all. And maybe I want to do a little walkthrough exercise with the students. So what you can do is kind of pick a starting folder, like maybe I'll just start in the source folder and right click, and there's an option here enabled by the extension called breakpoint, new breakpoint. And you give this a name. So maybe I'll call this creating or create the counter. And when I do that, it's going to create a breakpoints folder for me with a create the counter, that's what I called it, and a folder called initial. What it did is whatever folder I right clicked on here, it copied all that code as it is into this particular directory. Now, it also created a branch, and this is why I don't want to put this out there as just a anybody can use it. It created a branch here called create the counter and committed that branch as the starting point. Now, as I go in through and make changes here, so I'm going to go into my actual application and maybe I'm going to create a new file, counter.ts and app counter. Need that. And maybe counter.routes. Counter. App routes. Set up a little route for that. Pretty good. Up a level. Maybe. And of course, I'm teaching. I'm going to be explaining this better. It's really not about that right now. But if I go to app.ts here, or link outlet, my template. Keep trying to use my Vim key bindings that I don't have those on right now. That looks pretty good. In the main, do a router outlet. Switch back over browser. So counter here. Maybe I'll put something on counter. Oops. So we know we got to the right place. So counter, that looks good. So this is the point where I could say this was a step along the way. So Control Shift or Command Shift P, and I'm gonna do breakpoint, add step, and I'll call this step basic routing. And you'll notice in my breakpoints now, I have create the counter. Here's what we initially started at. And in basic routing, it just copied anything that had changed in that step. So there's my new counter TS. There's what I did with the routes. There's what I did in app.ts and app routes, etc. And it did a commit, right? So you can see I have a clean branch here. So now if I do another step, maybe I'll go, I'm not going to do a bunch here because I'm not trying to teach Angular necessarily, but in here I just create a little bit of a UI. What that looks like. But yeah, I want to make it so when you increment and decrement those things, that number goes up. So I could just do the old school way, maybe current equals 0 and increment, decrement. Right here. Amazing. Looks good. And at this point, I could say I'm done with this step. So I'm going to add a step, and I'll call this old school state. Under create the counter, we have the basic routing and old school state. And now I could say, let's move on to the new hotness, which would be to use a signal here. So signal of 0. Visual Studio Code Tourette's import there. All right, now we're using signals, all that kind of good stuff. So once again, add a step. It adds another file in that folder, move to signals with just the changes I made indicated in there. And then when I'm done with a particular demo, can have as many steps as you want. I added a thing where breakpoint, finish the breakpoint, and it will create a little change log here. If I open the preview, it will list out each of the steps, what files were modified, all that kind of good stuff. And it's a markdown file, so I can go in and add, some narrative about what happened in those steps, or students could make notes there. And so like in basic routing, it shows the get diffs on each one of the files that happened here. So pretty nifty, and I think it'll be really helpful when I'm teaching to be able to do this. I just have to have the discipline to remember to do this stuff, and download it, play with it. I hope it's helpful, and I'll report back and see and let you know, how it went in class, or if I make any modifications or give up on it or whatever. But I thought it was worth sharing, if nothing else, to send a link to that student that made the request. It's wonderful when you get a request that actually has, some feedback, that has something that's actionable. And frankly, thanks to Ethan for that fantastic workshop. I'm almost afraid to mention him here, because I had started this whole thing wanting to learn how to use effect, and then I wrote this extension. I didn't use effect, so I don't know, Ethan. It's up there. Pull requests accepted. Just kidding, buddy. I mean, I would love it, but I plan on going back and trying to re-implement all or some of this using the effect library. So thanks. Just wanted to show that.